Fox Sports.
We are Black We are Sports Zone.
Tonight, two streaks are on the line as the Braves and Pirates collide for Game 2 in Pittsburgh. The Braves have won 4 in a row and are streaking up in the wild card standings. The Pirates, though, have lost 6 in a row, and they desperately need a win. It's game time from the Steel City. It's the Braves and Pirates next on Sports South. We welcome you to Pittsburgh, where the Braves are rolling like the mighty Monongahela River. Easy for me to say. Pittsburgh's rolling, but in the wrong direction. They're hopeful of getting back into the swing of things in the Central as they welcome Andrew McCutchen, the reigning MVP in the National League, back to the lineup after his 2-week stint on the disabled list tonight. All your Long Braves baseball is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price, every day. Tonight, Game 2 of our 3-game series. The Braves and Pirates. Atlanta won 7-3 last night. They're a game back in the wild card race tonight. Hi again, friends. Joe Simpson and a tongue-tied Chip Carey. Welcome to the ballpark where the Braves are rolling. They've won 4 straight games, Joe, and they're doing it the way they did it last year with the home run ball. They blasted away the Buccos last night.
Well, when the Braves were winning some games by manufacturing runs, it wasn't like they were saying we're not going to hit any more homers. But, boy, what a nice thing for the Braves to be popping some balls out of the ballpark last night. Jason Hayward almost hit one in the Allegheny River. If you think about it, that thing went a long way. And then Anderson Simmons tried to hit one in the Ohio River. So these guys are launching balls all over the place and playing good baseball. Look at this, 14 homers in the last 11 games. They had hit 14 in their last 35 coming into this stretch. A whole bunch of different guys are providing some of the power, but also the fact that you've got a couple of guys in the middle of the order that are also on hitting streaks. Justin Upton in a 9-game streak. Chris Johnson with 7. Freddie Freeman's hot. This is all adding up to some good run support.
Those are our Home Depot tools from the dugout. And you know, Aaron Harang's looking for the mystical waters of the Miccosukee Canal. Perhaps that'll be the difference maker for him. He looks for elusive victory number 10 tonight. It's the Braves. It's the battling Buccos on a beautiful night for baseball at PNC Park. Lineups and first pitch, good Lord willing, coming up right after this. area Mazda dealers. It's a perfect night for baseball here at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, and that is the Monongahela River.
Yeah, the baby.
Now, give me 7 tries, I'll get anything right. It's a beautiful night. Braves playing good ball right now. They've won 4 straight. They're a game back in the wild card chase, and hopefully able to gain some ground on the Nationals, who can't seem to lose of late. But all the Braves have to do is worry about their own play, and they'll try to beat Pittsburgh again tonight. Here's your lineup. Phil Gosselin back in at second base. He's hitting, so he's playing. That's the simple explanation for Atlanta. And Aaron Harang hopes Atlanta's offense does tonight what they did last night to the Buccos.
He's also in the lineup because this is one tough lefty, and his record wouldn't indicate that. But check out what he's done after a really bad start. He's gone 3-4 with a very low ERA, and that's Francisco Liriano.
First pitch swing, and Hayward grounds to second, and we are underway in Pittsburgh.
Liriano, 30 years old, 6'2", 215, out of the Dominican Republic. In his 8th year in the big leagues, his 4 keys to success tonight: number 1, run support. He has the lowest run support in Major League Baseball, averaging only 2.5 runs of support per game, and he has not pitched particularly well here at home. His ERA almost a full run higher here at PNC Park, surprisingly, 1-4 with a 4.53 ERA.
So you're essentially saying don't buy the 3-9 record.
Nope. Nope. He's got a good arm, throws hard, good sinker, slider, short arms the ball, hard to pick up.
And Gosselin didn't get that pitch. It's quickly 0-2. There's a little spot of sunshine right at home plate. Everything else is in shadow here at PNC Park. Russ Martin with a nice scoop on that ball in the dirt. Had to battle the ball and old Saul on that play. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Phil Gosselin. Hitting a cool 300, a homer, 2 RBIs. Swing and miss.
Nice changeup. He got a lot of guys to swing and miss and strike out in his last start at Detroit. That was on the 14th. He got beat 5-2. 6 innings, 3 hits. He only gave up 2 runs, walked 4. That was one of his season highs in walks, but he struck out 9 in 6 innings.
Short by Freddie Freeman. He spoils the shift. And the Braves first baseman continues his sizzling work at the plate. That's his 3rd hit in the series. And it comes with 2 out here in the opening inning.
That's his 3rd straight hit. His last 2 at-bats last night, and this one hitting over 400 over his last 2 weeks.
So here's Justin Upton. Milestone game for the Braves left fielder tonight. This is Justin's 1,000th big league game. And he takes a low and in for ball 1. As Joe mentioned, the Braves are hitting home runs. They're manufacturing runs. And Upton's been in the middle of that. He's arguably the hottest Braves hitter. And there are several candidates for that honor. Justin's riding a 9-game hitting streak as well. Didn't get that ball downstairs. It's an even count. Nine RBIs in the 9-game stretch. Upton up to 23 homers for the year. Short lead at first by Freddie Freeman. Here it comes. It's down in.
Everybody in the lineup right now that's on these good rolls, they just seem to be seeing the ball better. They're picking it up quicker out of the pitcher's hands. They're not swinging at a lot of bad pitches, a lot of pitches in the dirt. They've been patient. They've been aggressive. So it's not one particular approach that's been overall successful. It's just good at bats.
that man's enjoying the role the Braves are on. Freddie Gonzalez. Braves have won 4 straight, 6 back in the East, but gaining ground on the Pirates. With Atlanta's win last night, as Upton walks, the Braves pass the Pirates in the wild card race. The Braves are a game behind San Francisco for the 2nd wild card. The Cardinals, the #1 wild card team at the moment.
Not just Freddie, Greg Walker and Scott Fletcher, all the hard work they've been putting in with these hitters, seeing some fruits of their labor too. Because all they want is to see these guys succeed.
Chris Johnson riding a 7-game hitting streak. Those are the kinds of redundant things you love talking about in your offense.
Right.
Chris had an RBI last night, a couple of hits. Atlanta jumped out 6-0 on Vance Worley after 1 inning. Irvin Santana got the win, his 6th in a row. Now Johnson walks away from the plate. Call of Vic Carapazza.
Well, he thought, okay, he got the call in the outside corner, and then he came in and he gave him that one too. Look how far Russell went inside, but at least according to Fox Tracks, it came back at 93.
In the dirt, and speared by Russell Martin. Chris wears out left-handed pitching. That continues tonight. And that's a team-wide trend as well for the Braves. We'll discuss as the game moves along. Freeman at first, Freeman at second, Upton at first in the first. And a cue shot foul out of play. Chris will stay alive. Liriano, a huge year for the Pirates last season, went 16-8, made 26 starts. It was the 3rd time in his big league career he was a double-digit winner. Liriano, who's come back from a full season where injury took him out of professional baseball. Not once but twice has been the comeback player.
Tommy John surgery once.
It was the entire 2007 season. And was comeback player with the Twins in 2010 and last year here in Pittsburgh. His first full year was with the Twins in 2006. He went 12-3. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
The All-Star team.
And he's pitching like an all-star here in the first inning. A couple of strikeouts. Chris Johnson frustrated as the Braves strand a pair in the opening inning. Aaron Harang goes to work for Atlanta. No score in Pittsburgh. PNC Park tonight. We're underway after a half inning. No score. Here come the Pirates, who have dropped 6 consecutive games. The local gentry a little concerned about this August fade by Blue Turtles ball club. Buccos just 15-15 since the All-Star break, but getting an MVP back in your lineup certainly should boost their confidence, and the Pirates hoping their success. You see McCutchen's list missed the last 14 games. He anchors the Toyota starting nine, a starting nine that hit 3 homers against Atlanta last night.
Aaron Hooray on the mound for his 26th start is 9-7. A 3.51 ERA. He's 4 keys tonight. Well, we'll get to that in a second. Lowest ERA in his career. Best home runs per 9 inning. That's the best ratio in his career. Just good work all around. Guy for the most quality starts since 2007. So Aaron all around has been outstanding, but lately he hasn't had any luck. Last 6 games 0-1 with a 3.47 ERA. And here are his keys. Is Andrew McCutchen healthy? You'll find out soon enough. And make them hungry.
There's Johnson to a knee. Handles the smash from Harrison, and there's Harang's first out.
Yeah, and some explanation there. He'll have to find out right away if McCutchen can swing the bat, if he looks like the real Andrew McCutchen. And secondly, make them hungry. These guys have lost 6 in a row, 8 out of 10. They're going to be a little antsy, especially with McCutchen back. They might be overly aggressive, and if he can, you know, move the ball around, make them overly aggressive and get themselves out, might just work for him tonight.
With McCutchen back in the lineup, Clint Hurdle has really shuffled his lineup. He's got Travis Snyder hitting second tonight. Snyder batted 7th in game 1 last night. Why is he hitting second? Well, Snyder's got a 9-game hitting streak. He's hitting .268 overall. Well hit to right. Hayward broke in, now goes back. The ball carries over his head. Hayward reaches up at the last moment and snared it at the fence.
This is a very difficult play when you misread it and you're in another ballpark. You're not sure how much room you have. Look at him. He's not going to take his eye off the ball. He still had a little room, but he wasn't sure and stayed with it. That is a really nice recovery.
One heck of a play and one heck of a response from the crowd in Pittsburgh for McCutchen's first at bat. McCutchen got hurt with the Diamondbacks. A fractured rib is what sidelined Andrew for a couple of weeks. Bounces that one out of play, foul, and is behind 0-2.
He took some live batting practice yesterday against a minor league pitcher and declared himself okay. But none of that matters until you get in the box in a real game and see how your adrenaline takes over.
Did you ever have rib cage oblique problems as a player?
No, I was fortunate that way. Didn't really hear about oblique injuries. We had those intercostal strains in the rib cage, but nobody ever talked about obliques. Maybe we didn't have them back then. I don't know.
I know we don't have them now. Let's see how McCutchen got hurt.
He got hit in that game against the Diamondbacks and the pitcher got thrown out of the game, but it was actually on a swing that he was injured and not on that pitch.
Liner over third, but he hooked it foul.
But I will say that they think that perhaps that pitch contributed to when he did swing and injure himself, that it was all tied together.
Was that considered payback for Goldschmidt getting
yes.
hit? He broke his hand?
Yeah. Diamondbacks denied it, but yes.
It was Randall Delgado that delivered the pitch to McCutchen. Delgado, former Brave. And Gaddis knocked that down. 2 balls, 2 strikes. McCutchen with 2 outs. Neil Walker, the second baseman, is the cleanup hitter tonight. He waits on deck.
skipped up there. It's a full count. McCutcheon's 27. He'll be 28. He lives in Lakeland, Florida in the offseason. #1 pick in 2005 by Pittsburgh, the 11th pick overall. And strike 3 called. Harang paints a corner, and he has a 1-2-3 first inning. So the Pirates are done. We head to the second. No score.
Is brought to you by AT&T Uverse, Ford, Delta Airlines, and Synovus, the bank of here.
Off to go to the second inning. No score here in Pittsburgh. Bobby Cox bobblehead day is Monday, September 1st. When the Braves face the Phillies, only the first 20,000 fans through the gates will take home this one-of-a-kind souvenir. Get your tickets today at Braves.com or by phone at 800-745-3000. Hard to believe we're already talking about September. Just a couple of weeks away. So Liriano goes to work, and the first pitch is hit up the middle. Walker with the play. They had Evan Gattis played perfectly. One down. You haven't been able to say the Pirates have played anyone perfectly on defense for much of the year.
No, but they had that one lined up just right, didn't they? Fastball running away from Evan, and he hit it back through the middle like he should, but there was a man there.
Pittsburgh with 90 errors so far this season, including 2 critical ones last night. Andrelton Simmons, the batter, hitting 7th. He batted second in game 1. Liriano, a quick strike.
Asked Andrelton before the game, how's your ankle? And he said, it's really good. I said, how's your jaw? And he goes, a lot better. No pain. After having an excess tooth or 2 yanked.
Dumps that ball into right field for a hit. That's what the Braves want to see Andrelton continue to do. After he launched that long homer to left last night, boy, that's good news that he took the ball to right field here in his first at bat.
You bet. You bet. After that, he grounded out, struck out, hit a comeback with Mound, struck out again, and it appeared he was trying to duplicate what he did in the first inning.
Downstairs for B.J. Upton.
Some, like you talked about, Chip, that was on home plate is now right on the mound. I don't know if it's in Liriano's eyes or not.
And Upton fouls that back for an even count. 1 ball, 1 strike. BJ's had good luck against Liriano in his career. He's 5 for 17. That's a .294 batting average. And this guy is not a soft tossing left-hander by any stretch.
No. No. That fastball at 93. And again, he kind of is very compact. He's 6'2", but he kind of compacts himself in his delivery, and then it's a real short arm delivery, and the ball's on you before you can react.
And that's inside tight. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, with the Twins, he made a start, his only other start against the Braves. In recent times, beat Tim Hudson and went 8 innings, no walks, 11 strikeouts that particular game.
Now Upton has a full count. Orang is on deck. Roll of the dice here for Freddie Gonzalez. They send Simmons. BJ strikes out a lot.
Yeah, and then you leave the pitcher leading off the next inning if they throw Andrelton out.
Davis plays in front of the runner at first. And Pittsburgh will throw over just to make sure.
There's not a lot to gain by sending him. I mean, even if he's safe, you've got the pitcher up to try to drive him in.
Full count pitch. He's going. And strike 3. Throw to second. Short hops and safe. Simmons got in under the tag. And it's a stolen base for Andrelton Simmons. His 4th of the year.
Didn't get a particularly good jump. And Russell Martin, the catcher's had good success throwing out Steelers this year at 32%, but he made a horrible throw. And then Walker on the short hop reached out and then went down for the tag. And he knew he missed him. So here is that situation with the pitcher. Maybe Aaron can drive him in. For McCutchen, well, he's backing up a little bit now. McCutchen was really shallow.
Aaron's 3 for 44 at the plate. Liriano was originally a San Francisco Giant. He was a non-drafted free agent. Then the Twins acquired him from San Francisco before the 2004 season with Joe Nathan and Booth Bonser for A.J. Przinsky and cash. Then he was traded to the White Sox, became a free agent, and then the Pirates scooped him up.
Well, at least Aaron's making him throw some pitches here.
Two and 2. He missed low. Full count. So Aaron
Carapazzo's had a very generous zone so far. Not on that pitch.
Line in the center field, a hit. Here comes Simmons around third. McCutchen's throw toward the plate is going to be laid, and Simmons scores standing up It's an RBI hit for Aaron Harang, and the stolen base leads to the first run of the night.
That. Only his 4th hit of the year, but boy, a ribby. It's his first RBI since 2012. Fastball above the knees, nice inside-out swing on it, and even with McCutchen playing shallow, he still had to go to his left to get this baseball and couldn't get enough on the throw. That is really stealing a run.
What an at-bat by Aaron Harang, and what a result. He helps himself, and now the lineup moves to Jason Hayward, who grounded out on the game's first pitch.
This is kind of an example of what's been driving the Pirates crazy. You get a strike him out, what should have been throw him out double play, but you can't execute the play at second base. You can't make a good throw. The second baseman doesn't make the good tag to get him, and then the pitcher comes through with a hit. And that, I'm sure they're all going, man, when's this stuff going to end? And that's what keeps happening to them. Good for the Braves.
Liriano about to make his 34th pitch. It's too high.
Oddly enough, Liriano is one of those guys that lefties are hitting him better than right-handers. You can't use that changeup as much with them. Lefty's hitting .264 against him. Right-handers only .209.
To the left side. A nice scoop. And the peg to first in time takes care of Jason Hayward. Aaron Harang with a good at bat in the second inning. The Braves steal a run, literally and figuratively, in inning number 2. It's 1-0 Atlanta. We head to the home second.
Here in game number 2 of this series between the Braves and the Pirates. Justin Upton has a milestone game today. It's been a milestone run, seeds and all, for the Braves outfielder. Gerald Laird should really have his head in the game right now. Justin has, since he was first drafted, part of our Synovus greatness made here. As a matter of fact, he was the #1 overall draft pick. It didn't take long to end up back on a diamond with his brother. This is when BJ was playing for the Durham Bulls, the AAA team of the Rays, and Justin was still in high school, an Aflac All-American. Justin was the #1 overall pick in 2005. That same draft as he celebrated with his parents. Andrew McCutcheon would go 11th overall. Here's what he's done now, playing in his 1,000th career game since his debut. 12th in hits, 14th in home runs, 6th in runs scored. And how about the last 11 games he's played in, guys? The team is 7-4. He's hitting .333 with 4 home runs, slugging .722. Nearly as many walks as strikeouts, and leading this team to great success, and hopefully that continues this series. I think Gerald needs to get back in the lineup.
Look a little bored there, Tom.
He's hitting everything, including you with the sunflower seeds.
Yeah. But good for Justin. I mean, that was there's always a spotlight microscope on the #1 pick, and he has certainly warranted that with his good play in those 1,000 games.
You know, we've talked a lot about the 2009 draft, that great pitchers draft.
Yes.
The 2005 draft, one of the best hitters drafts in recent memories. Tom's right. Upton went #1. You know who else was picked in that draft? Alex Gordon of Kansas City, Ryan Zimmerman, Ryan Braun, Troy Tulowitzki, Mike Pelfrey, Cameron Maben, and McCutcheon was 11th.
Goodness.
How about that group?
That is a good group.
The Braves took Joey Devine that year at NC State.
And pitched in the big leagues before the year was out.
Right. A wonderful milestone for Upton. Game number 1,000. Here's to 1,000 more. As Neil Walker leads off for the Buccos, and skies one toward shallow left, foul ground, long run. Can anyone get there? No. And Walker back to the plate, down 2 strikes.
Hamilton's made some special catches in this ballpark. One right down in that very neighborhood where that one dropped. But there is very little foul territory in this place. The crowd is right on top of the players.
Base is empty for Walker. 0-2 pitch. It's so refreshing to come to a new ballpark and look, you can find flaws in anything. But the two that stick out for me that I think got everything right, this one and Target Field in Minneapolis. Just great baseball facilities. We were talking before the game with the Pirates being relevant. They have young, enthusiastic crowds here. They're making noise. They're cheering on their team, and the ballpark, quite obviously, really comes to life. Makes all the difference in the world.
And its capacity is 38,362. And it was built at a time where the Pirates were down and not playing good baseball. But they knew that as soon as they got things turned around, this place would start filling up, and it has. Getting to the postseason for the first time since '92 last season.
Walker pops one up. That one's playable for Justin, who's in 7 or 8 steps. There's out #1. Harang set down the first 4 in order. Here's Russell Martin. Also a good receiving catcher and a good hitting catcher too. 6 homers, 48 knocked in, and a .282 batting mark. Right off Evan Gaddis's face mask.
Every time Evans' mask gets hit, it just rattles, and it's got to scramble his brains a little bit, but he always just turns right around, give me another ball.
Back to the mound. Harang will take care of Russell Martin. 2 and down. There's a saying that familiarity breeds contempt. The Pirates should have plenty of that for Aaron Harang. Among active pitchers, he's faced Pittsburgh more than anyone else as a big league starter. This is his 27th time he's faced the Pittsburgh ball club. Most of that work came while a member of the Reds.
And has more wins than any active player, with the exception of Johnny Cueto, who was his teammate in Cincinnati.
This man had a very impressive game last night. Starling Marte, a couple of homers and a double.
He's continuing a real hot streak. He's on 15 for his last 37. Aaron started him with a slow curve. And what looked like a changeup might have been a breaking ball. I can't tell from the stratosphere up here.
One ball, 2 strikes. 23 RBIs in his last 41 games. For Starling Marte, and it's rolled foul. Here's his big night last night. I mean, he hit 8 miles worth of homers.
Right center with that one off the top of the fence. But no doubt on this one. Straightaway center. Lined a double later too.
Swing and a miss. He chased a bad ball. Gaddis will throw him out. And Aaron Harang has his second strikeout and, more importantly, a 1-0 lead. There was a little confusion at the end of that. Strike him out, throw him out at first play.
First base, old Freddie he's going to throw it around the infield, and that caused Gosselin to stop. And then the first base umpire, Paul Nauert, is like, how many outs do you guys want? Chris Johnson was giving him a lot of grief. They were giving him a little help. A lot of laughs, a lot of smiles in the dugout. That's great to see.
Here's Gosselin to start the Braves third. He struck out. Then Freddie Freeman. Then Justin Upton. And a strike. Just sense there's a little bit more of a lighter atmosphere around the ball club, is there not?
Oh, there always is when you win. And when you're playing good baseball.
Line drive to right by Phil Gosselin. He continues his hot work at the plate. So Gosselin 1 for 2 tonight, and he's aboard in front of Freddie Freeman.
Guy can hit. Phil's using the whole field, both sides. Doing a great job.
This guy can hit too. He's our Academy Sports and Outdoor leaderboard.
How about this for him in the NL ranks since August 2nd? First in average, first in doubles. Drawing some walks.
And he lines it over the shift again. This time to right field. Freddie's seen 2 pitches. He has 2 hits. They weren't cheapies.
He may not know how many outs there are, but he knows how to square a ball up. Lefty, righty, doesn't matter. Fastball, outer third, nailed it. Talked to him after the game about that collision with Snyder at first base. He said, made my foot feel funny. He said, it's almost like I didn't feel like it was under me. That's why it took me a little while to get back to the bag. It was real odd, but he was fine after the game.
Here's Justin. He walked his first time and had a big swing. We'll keep you updated on the other happenings around the league. Miami's home to Texas tonight in an interleague affair. Arizona's in Washington. They'll try to subdue the Nationals. Washington walked off in the 11th inning last night. Adam LaRoche won it for Matt Williams' team. High fly ball deep left. That ball's got a chance. That's got more than a chance and more than enough distance. Justin Upton unloads a 3-run homer, and the Braves have jumped out big. It's 4-0.
This guy doesn't give up many homers. That's only the 12th this year. But again, his home field has been the problem for him. An ERA over 4.5. He's given up 4 already. Breaking ball. Breaking ball. It wasn't that bad a pitch, but Justin was able to track it the whole way. Goodness. He's hitting 10 straight.
No chance for Starling Marte, and the Braves playing long ball again. 9 different players have hit a homer for the Braves over the last 11 games. They hit 2 last night. They've hit their first tonight. After building a 6-0 lead in game 1, they've jumped out 4-0 for Aaron Harang here in the top of the 3rd.
Nothing like 3-run homers. Unless, of course, you happen to hit one out, the bases loaded, but those 3-run homers do a lot of damage to the pitcher, to the opposing team's thoughts about having to catch up in this case.
And for Pittsburgh too, I think you made the point earlier, it's like here we go again. Got to find a way to dig out of a big hole after a 361-foot homer by Justin Upton. And a cue shot foul by Gaddis evens the count. During the 6-game slide for the Pirates, nothing has gone right. They haven't hit, they haven't pitched, and they haven't caught it. Fly ball center. McCutchen will drift over to his left a step or 2. He's got it. There's out number 2. You don't do those 3 things, or you do those 3 things poorly, you're going to have a bad week. That's the fate of the Pirates right now. As in the Central, Pittsburgh has fallen 6 games behind Milwaukee and 3.5 games behind second place St. Louis.
And Milwaukee not slowing up at all. Went out and beat up the Dodgers after the Dodgers had taken 3 out of 4 from Atlanta.
Tell you what, I don't think LA wants to match up with Milwaukee in postseason. Brewers won all but 1 game head-to-head with Los Angeles. Sharply hit toward Jordy Mercer at short, and the long toss to first is in time. A big fly by Justin Upton. his 24th home run, the third of 3 consecutive hits to begin inning number 3. Aaron Harang now enjoys a big lead. It's 4-0. Concourses are pretty clear. That's because most of the fans are in their seats tonight, and they have seen that man go deep to extend his hitting streak to 10 consecutive games with a hit. So Ike Davis leads off for Pittsburgh, then Jordy Mercer, then Liriano against Aaron Harang, who's retired all 6 he's faced.
Yeah, it's great. The Braves are almost through their lineup twice, and the Pirates only have their 7th batter up there.
I'm assuming for Pittsburgh a low risk, potential high reward acquisition of Ike Davis. Very good defensive first baseman. He's shown a little bit of power for them this year. But with the troubles of Pedro Alvarez at third base and their obligation to him, one would think Alvarez is going to have to play first base here for Pittsburgh. That might make Ike Davis the odd man out.
Well, I don't know what happened to Ike Davis. I don't know what happened to his swing from the one we saw that was so good when he first broke in with the Mets. But if that swing, if he can find some semblance of that swing, this park's tailor-made for him.
Right. That's the high reward part. And he just struck out. When we saw him struggling so mightily with the Mets last year, it was with the strikeout. And you pointed out that gigantic hitch where he dropped his hands, and it was deadly for him to play.
Yeah, and he's still doing it. And Aaron will take that call any day. Yeah, he went back to the minor leagues to try to fix that. Came back, and it was a little better, but now that hitch is back for Davis.
So this is Jordy Mercer. Mercer missed a few games with a sore forearm, and his presence in the lineup was missed. He's swinging an odd bat, .353 August average. Liner into center field. BJ a sliding try, couldn't make the play. It got behind him, but not far enough for Mercer to advance, and that's the first Pirate hit of the game.
Tough play for BJ. Good effort though. Mercer had started 49 straight games for them until last night because of that elbow forearm issue that you were talking about. And he's got a real good arm, so they've got to be a little concerned about that.
Here's Liriano, 3 sacrifices, only 3 hits. Hey, you wonder what happens with pitchers when you start hearing the word forearm, you automatically think elbow.
Right.
Liriano knows all about that.
The other side of it for Mercer was that he was a pitcher.
There's the bunt. Chris Johnson calls off Gaddis. The peg to first in time. The sacrifice is successful, and Josh Harrison will hit with Mercer in scoring position.
When Mercer was in college at Oklahoma State, he was their closer. In fact, when he left the Aggies, he was their all-time leading save. He was their saves leader.
Really?
In the history of school, yeah. He kind of worked that kind of like the Monongahela tonight, didn't he?
I hexed you. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But those magical, mystical Miccosukee waters await. The runner at second and 2 outs for Harrison. 180, chopper out of play. 4-0 Atlanta. The Braves got a second inning run. Orang drove it in with his first RBI. And Justin Upton with a 3-run bomb to left. If you come and see Aaron Harang pitch in a major league game, if you want to see mid-90s fastballs, you're going to leave sorely disappointed. But if you want to watch a man execute the art form of pitching, you'll be highly entertained. He moves the ball around, he changes speeds, he picks his spots in the lineup to pitch around opposing hitters. I think he sort of personifies, Joe, what hitters will say, a comfortable 0 for 4.
Yeah, well, he's been around. He's pitched long enough to know what his strengths and weaknesses are. He knows the strengths and weaknesses of a lot of different hitters, so he's able to play on that too. And that's why I was talking about in his 4 keys tonight. Make them hungry, make them be overly aggressive. And now he's got a 4-0 lead, and they're probably going to ramp up that aggressiveness trying to get back in this game.
Harrison with another take. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. What a view. Ground ball towards second. Gosselin charged, got it, and got his man. Harang is out of the 3rd inning with a 4-0 lead. Smooth sailing on the mighty rivers of the Monongahela. first 3 innings, you missed a lot, including Zaxby's indescribably good play.
Leadoff single in the inning by Goslin. Freddie Freeman, a first pitch single, followed that. And a breaking ball 3-run homer by Justin. His 24th of the year. He's hit in 10 straight games, 4 homers during those 10 games.
And Harang is continuing the run support miseries of Mr. Liriano. Pirates have scored more than 2 runs for him in only 4 of his first 21 starts. And a shot into the left field corner by B.J. Upton. And he'll make his way to second base with a leadoff double. Back-to-back innings for the Braves with the leadoff man aboard.
Hey, everybody jump on board. Let's go. This train is rolling.
Harang had the bunt sign on and moved out of the way of that pitch across the shoe tops. Aaron can handle the bat. He's got 7 sacrifices. And that one fouled straight back.
Look at the location of that pitch. They're calling for it down and into BJ. You know what that means, Chip?
Danger, danger, Will Robinson.
Exactly. Wheelhouse time. He raked it into the corner.
Harang got it down and he bunted it to the third baseman. Beautiful effort with the first baseman ready to shake hands with him. Wow.
Great job. As you said, his 8th now on the year. He and Teheran have been the best for the Braves at getting this down, and he bunted it to the right guy here, the one that was playing back.
So down 4, the Pirates will bring the infield in for Jason Hayward. It's got to be a lot of fun, especially the way Hayward's swinging the bat. But 0 for 2 tonight. His good work though earns him our Georgia lottery, hitting the jackpot honors.
Great numbers since he moved back to the leadoff spot. Team's gone 5-1 in those 6 games and leading tonight. Got him to chase a bad one there. But again, this guy's a strikeout pitcher, and that's what he really needs right here.
A little cue shot. It's going to spin foul. Turned the wrong way for Hayward. Had that spun fair, he might have beaten that out. He'll head back to the plate with an 0-2 count.
That had to be like right on top of the dirt too, and he made contact with it. Just barely above the ground. Wilson Martin was ready to block it.
Upton doubled to start the inning. Moved to third on Aaron Harang's sacrifice bunt. Line into center field. It's an RBI hit for Hayward against a tough lefty. It's a 5-0 Atlanta game.
Another outstanding at bat. These guys are putting together such good at bats. Double, got him over, got him in, made a mistake upstairs with an off-speed pitch. He'd made all these good pitches dirt high that Jason was having to go after to protect, and left one up, and right now the Braves are just not missing any mistakes.
Five nothing in the fourth for Gosselin. He singled and scored. And Liriano is tied. The local newspaper said tonight was Act 1 of what they hoped would be the Pirates' resurgence in the standings, getting McCutchen back. Act 2, they said, may come tomorrow night when Garrett Cole comes back from injury for Pittsburgh. He's their terrific young starting pitcher. But Atlanta has come to town and ambushed the Buccaneers. And tonight lead 5-0. Pittsburgh only one hit in the game so far. Two and one for Phil Gosselin. I like the fact that he and Tommy La Stella are ostensibly sharing time at second base right now.
Well, he's earned it. I mean, he keeps hitting.
Lined hard toward right, and Snyder's there. He'll throw back toward first. And easily back is Jason Hayward with the second out.
Tommy La Stella keeps hitting. Nothing wrong with what's going on with the way that's being handled.
And the only difference, I guess, between the two is that Gosselin may be the more versatile defensive player. He can play more positions than Tommy at this point. But you might as well see what you've got. And what the Braves are seeing they like out of both those young Atlanta infielders. Freddie Freeman's been aggressive early in the count. That's his first take tonight. And the third pitch he's seen. The first two pitches ended up being rifled into the outfield. Freeman's got his batting average up to .297 now. He started play on August 1st at .282. When you think of the number of at-bats that he's had and the fact that Freeman's played only all but 2 innings this year, to raise your batting average 15 points in 2 weeks, he's really hitting.
It's really hard to do this time of year. It'll drop like a rock, but it's hard to move it up.
Kind of like that weight loss thing, right? It's really easy to put on, but it should be the inverse proportion. If it's easy to put on, how come it's not easy to take off? No margin for error again for Liriano to this point. 2 balls and a strike. And Freeman, watch that sail outside. Upton is next. Strike outside corner. Maybe his best fastball of the game.
Yeah, it was a good pitch. Definitely his best velocity at 96. PNC Bank pitch track shows there's a little bit off the plate. That was a good spot.
Runner goes, pitch in the dirt. It gets away from Martin. Around second, big turn Hayward. He'll slam on the brakes. And Justin Upton will come up again with another chance to hit a 3-run homer. Ray Searage, the Pirate pitching coach, is headed to the hill.
He might want to go out and just say, what did he hit out of the ballpark last time up? It's a breaking ball. Okay, don't throw that one. Let's try something different.
Yeah. So while that meeting continues, we'll invite you to join us at the ballpark Sunday, August 31st for the pop rock band Newsboys. They'll perform in the Braves Summer Concert Series. Stay after the game for a free concert. Limited VIP field passes are available. They're just $20 a piece. Act fast. Go to Braves.com/concerts today. It's sure to be a great show. Newsboys after the Braves game on Sunday, August 31st. It's going to be a big series, by the way. 3 games set with the Marlins and a 5:05 start on Sunday. Foul at the plate. Up and down a strike. Twelve RBIs during the 10-game run for Justin Upton. Braves' number 4 hitter is cleaning up. And 2 more RBIs out there potentially. Unless he hits a homer, and then there'd be 3 more in the books for him.
Well, they keep trying to go down and into right-handed hitters. BJ made him pay with a double down in the corner. And he hasn't gotten too many calls on the right-handed hitters in that spot, but that must be where he likes to go and he's most comfortable. Well, that was interesting. It was like Russell Martin forgot what location he gave him. He started in and then quickly bounced outside.
He had a long look out at his pitcher. He's gone 2-1 after the mound meeting here in the Braves' 4th.
Nice off-speed pitch.
Hurdle has the strongest jaw muscles in baseball history. He goes through the bubble gum like you can't believe. He's working it over here, down 5-zip. Poke to the right side. Ike Davis, long run to the first base bag, and he has to sprint to beat Justin Upton there, and that retires the side. A run on 2 hits, a couple left. The Braves are spoiling the homecoming and return of Andrew McCutchen. Rough times for the Pirates. They're losers of 6 straight.
The Georgia Lottery, Toyota, and AT&T, mobilizing your world.
Braves are back at it. They are bashing the Buccos. Kind of like saying that.
Good. Say it again.
They're bashing the Buccos. Here in game 2, Aaron Harang is pitching a gem. And he's quickly ahead of Travis Snyder, who was robbed by Jason Hayward. A twisting, turning catch in right field. A tough play that somehow Hayward made for the game's second out for the Pirate offense. And he'll have a chance to cut this ball off in the gap. And he can't do it. Will corral it on the running track. Bobbled it. Snyder at second is going to stop there. You don't want to run on Hayward and Simmons' arms. And a leadoff double for the Pirate right fielder gets the 4th inning started.
He's a good high ball hitter for a left-handed batter, and he uses a lot of top hand. Gets that barrel through there with a quick top hand turning on balls, and this one jumped off his bat. I think Jason thought he could cut it off and just couldn't. But you can see Aaron upset because he left that pitch up.
So each ball club has a hitter with a 10-game hitting streak now. That's Snyder's 8th double and a 10-game run for him. Now McCutchen. He struck out to end the Pittsburgh first. This guy's one out of play foul. We will, of course, look for any signs of discomfort from McCutchen. And you can see through his uniform top, it looks like he's wearing some sort of a brace or pad to protect his ribs.
Maybe not quite as cumbersome as like one of those quarterback flak jackets, but I think it's supposed to serve kind of the same purpose, something that's supposed to protect it.
I love watching this kid play. I really do.
Me too.
One ball, one strike. In the air, right. That's well hit. Hayward's back onto the track, and he's got it. Snyder's going to tag and head to third. McCutchen 0 for 2, but that's a productive out. Sharply hit. 1 out.
Jason's still a little unsure where he is out there. When he broke back on that ball, and granted it was smoke, he had his left hand up right away to make sure he wasn't right on the fence with this one. Hot night down there on the field.
Walker, the batter, he popped out to left. He's 2 for 4 so far in the series. Another part of this Pirate club that's great to see as well. They've been able to rebuild their club through the draft. They had so many years of unproductive, high draft choice picks. A lot of them pitchers who just didn't pan out, or pitchers who did make the big leagues but didn't have the kind of success that they hoped to have. Arguably the best of the bunch was Chris Benson. But finally, the likes of McCutchen and Cole and Walker and guys they signed in Marte are here and playing good ball. Little pop, third base side. Chris Johnson won't have a play. That's into the seats.
They had horrible luck with pitchers. You're right. They had high picks. They would take guys in the top 5 in the draft, and for the longest time, none of them could stay healthy.
One ball, 2 strikes. To third, Chris Johnson dives, scrambles to his feet, and the stretch at first by Freeman in time for the out. But that'll score Snyder. An RBI for Walker, his 52nd, and Pittsburgh's on the board. It's now a 5-1 game.
To get back in this game, the Pirates absolutely had to get Snyder in there. So good job by Walker. Braves come out of it giving up the run, but 2 out, nobody on.
We're not quite at the point where you trade runs for outs, but you want to stay out of big innings.
Yes.
For Aaron, here's Russell Martin. He tapped back to the mound. Rang retired the first 7 men he faced. He's allowed only 2 hits. Hot shot to short. Smothered by Simmons. And the throw ends the inning. Snyder, a leadoff double. Pittsburgh cashes that in on the ground out. It's a 5-1 game. Here's who's coming up on deck, presented by Delta. Braves lead 5-1. With Joe Simpson and Tom Hartship carrying the rest of our great Fox Sports crew from PNC Park. Atlanta pounding away again, leading 5-1 tonight. Here's the beautiful downtown Pittsburgh skyline. Chris Johnson's the batter. It's the 5th inning. 20 years ago, that line might have been a punchline. That is not the case anymore. This is a really terrific city. A lot of young folks are here. A lot of IT people have moved here to get involved in the internet business scheme of things.
A lot of banking and a lot of medical.
Too short. Mercer can't corral it. And Pittsburgh's defense lets him down here. We'll see how that's scored. It's an error. Man, oh man, the Pirates are just shooting themselves in the glove.
It's like almost every guy's trying to back up, get away from the ball to try to get a good hop. Sometimes you got to charge and take what you get. He needed to come in on that ball instead of going sideways on it and then try to play an in-between hop. It ate him up.
Gaddis, next pitch swings, and that's off Walker's glove and into shallow right field. He had to scramble to his left. That's going to be a hit. And so the only man in the Braves lineup tonight without a hit so far is Chris Johnson, and we're in the 5th inning.
He's at second base, ready to score a run. He got a little leather on it, just couldn't make the play. Too far to go for it, I guess.
Simmons, a single, a steal, and a run scored. He's 1 for 2. Hit came in the second. It was to right field. Braves would love it if he poked another one that way here.
Yeah, and be patient. Swinging the bat pretty well. Get a good pitch to hit.
Action begins in the Pittsburgh pen. Brandon Compton's the man up and throwing. He's a Georgia boy. Lives in Evans, Georgia. In the offseason. And Simmons to a knee after he ripped that baby foul straight back.
2-0 count, and he almost injured himself trying to swing so hard. This is part of what drives Greg Walker and Scott Fletcher crazy. He's hit 6 homers, counting the one last night. He's not going to hit 20, but it could really help the team by just driving in runs when he gets opportunities, by hitting line drives.
Let's check in with Tom Hart. Tom?
And Joe, I think that was more about the count than anything with Andrelton Simmons. If history is any indication, I asked him today about his home run last night and his aggressive approach, knowing full well that he's one of the most aggressive guys in the team. And he said, well, it's simple. He got to 2-0 on me. I thought he was hunting for a strike, and I thought I'd tee off.
Ball 4. Bases are loaded for Atlanta with nobody out.
You can tee off, Tom, by just taking a normal, aggressive swing without falling down. Sometimes that tee off swing that he just took, that we just saw, slows you down. You don't get the barrel to the baseball with that swing enough.
So a great chance for the Braves to blow this baby wide open. B.J. Upton doubled and scored the 5th Atlanta run. That was his last at bat.
I think they ought to try to pitch him down and in again.
If they do, Ariano will be down and out of the game. Upton will rip it someplace. Him is an opposite field hitter in the outfield. Big gap in left center. It's the deepest part of the yard, 410 feet away by the Pittsburgh bullpen.
Well, they've mowed the field in a spray chart.
Yes, they did.
so just pick your alley.
And they took away the 21. The Clemente number's gone and right.
It's not his birthday.
Oh. Good point. He was to have been 80 years old yesterday. And he's quickly gone 3-0 to Upton, and listen to the crowd in Pittsburgh.
Pitcher on deck, who's already driven in a run tonight. But let's see if BJ gets a green light here. 3-0.
Sky toward right. Snyder on the run in the corner. That ball is over his head and off the wall. One run's going to score. A late stop sign given. Gaddis will stop at third base, and that ball just kept carrying down the right field line for B.J. Upton. A long single makes it a 6-1 game.
I can't believe that ball stayed fair. Chris Johnson goes back to tag up, as he should, on a ball in the air that way, and now he has to take off, and that's what held everybody else up. B.J. Upton was ready to go to second. He had to throw on the brakes. But the reason they only got one run was because Johnson was tagging up, and so was Gaddis.
Francisco Liriano will be taken out of this ball game. He had an awful time. 6 runs, 10 hits so far. The bases are loaded. They belong to him. And Atlanta's bashing the Buccos again. For Atlanta, they pushed across another run here in the 5th inning, and there is nobody out. And a tough situation for a Georgia boy, Brandon Compton, out of Georgia Tech and Evans, Georgia, comes in a gigantic mess.
Well, say 12 games, some of those as a starter. That 10 starts with the Pirates, 3-3 with a 4.98 ERA as a starter. But things have not gone well out of the bullpen. He gave up 3 runs in 2 innings of relief last Thursday in Detroit. Only his second career relief appearance. And then was the losing pitcher Sunday night in that walk-off loss at Washington when he gave up the walk-off sac fly to Scott Hairston.
Compton, a 9th round pick in 2010 out of Georgia Tech, as I said. And he'll face off with Aaron Harang, whose night at the plate is our SunTrust shining moment.
Hey, what a night, too. Produced the first run of the game when he delivered a 2-out base hit to drive in Simmons. And then got a bunt down, too, his last time up. That helped set up an RBI base hit for Jason Hayward. We got BJ in.
And a sinking strike has Harang behind. Brandon Compton went to Greenbrier High School. Finished his high school career as a pitcher with a 31-3 record and a 1.01 ERA. Led Greenbrier to the 2006 and 2007 4A state championship. And 3 years at Georgia Tech. And his high school uniform number 12 was retired. That's how good a high schooler Brandon Compton was.
Well, he could sure use a double play right here. Or a strikeout from the pitcher.
Two and two. Fastball, belt high and down the middle. Harang took it. And there is the first out. A big strikeout. Brandon Compton retires his mound opponent here in the Braves' 5th.
That was a big difference for Liriano tonight. He did strike out 4, but the Braves were laying off that changeup and that sinker down below the knees and making him elevate some pitches, and certainly made him pay for it.
10 hits in 4+ innings for Liriano. One of those hits a homer. Now Hayward bats. Atlanta 6-1 leading. And a liner into right center field for a hit. That's going to score one for sure. Here comes Simmons around third. The throw is toward third, and BJ is in safely. Jason Hayward with a 2-run scoring hit. It's an 8-1 Atlanta game. And a 3 RBI night for the Braves right fielder.
How about this? 15 multi-hit games out of his last 31 for Jason Hayward. Good hustle by the base runners. First to third for BJ to beat that throw from Snyder. 50 RBIs now for Hayward.
If Jason's had a better run over 31 games, I can't remember it. Maybe when he was leading off late last year before he got hurt in New York. But man, is he swinging it right now. And the Braves getting a spark from Hayward hitting first. Everyone has a hit. Chris Johnson has scored a run tonight, and Atlanta clicking on all cylinders, has a big 5th inning lead again. Braves have to take care of their own business, it appears, tonight. Washington's all over Arizona. That's a 6-1 game at Nationals Park. They will hope for help from Texas. They're playing Miami. That game's tied in the 5th. 1-1 the score.
Well, in Cincinnati hosting the Giants, they could do some good for the Braves too by beating San Francisco. Or is that Chicago? It's Chicago, isn't it?
Yeah, Cincinnati's got the Cardinals today.
That's right.
In St. Louis. And the Reds got Brandon Phillips back. They have had all kinds of trouble scoring runs.
We knew if the Braves were coming to town, he'd come back, Votto will come back, and everybody will be fine.
Perfect. Start a 4-game series there when we leave Pittsburgh. 2-2 pitch. And that caught a corner. Gosselin's retired. Second strikeout for Brandon Compton. 2 on, 2 out.
Hey, 2 good pitches. The one with for Harang was down the middle, but this is a good pitch here to the outside corner on our PNC Bank pitch tracks. Well located. The base hit by Hayward has already done some damage.
Perfect night at the plate so far for Freeman. 2 singles, a walk, and a run scored. That pitch a little snug for Freddie Freeman. Now it's 2-2. How we looking?
I'd say a lot better.
First win for the Braves on the road yesterday since mid-July, the final game before the All-Star break against the Cubs.
Not bad for 14 innings of work.
And Freeman takes another walk. Again, Atlanta has him loaded, and now they've got to face Justin Upton.
Well, he's been the right man at the right place tonight in terms of having guys on base in front of him. And back in the 3rd inning, 2 on, nobody out. He capitalized. That made it 4-0.
Inside corner strike. Broken bat line drive into center field. Will score a couple more. A 5 RBI game for Justin Upton. The Braves have batted around in the 5th and have scored 10 times already. 80 RBIs for Upton.
You get 5 a night, you can get to 100 pretty quick. Fastball sawed him off, but it dropped. Strong enough to get it out over Mercer's head. And now an inning that started with an error by Mercer off the bat of Chris Johnson comes back around to Chris. Braves batted around in the 1st inning last night.
And to continue your thought, you bat around once a game, you're probably going to score a lot of runs.
I think so.
8 runs charged to Liriano, or is it 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 runs. Liriano's in a check swing back to the mound. And that will retire the side. Bronx cheer from the fans in Pittsburgh. 5 more runs across in the Atlanta 5th. Braves 10. Pirates 1. Love it.
Your Atlanta area Mazda dealers. Georgia Power, the Home Depot, and Zaxby's Indescribably Good.
Big night again for the Braves, leading the Pirates 10-1 as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. This Saturday, MLB on Fox Sports 1 returns with a doubleheader as Buster Posey and the Giants take on the Nationals. Then Freddie Freeman and the Braves square off against the Reds. Coverage starts at 3:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. It was pointed out to me last night that Buster Posey is kind of a tough name to say, because if you're not careful you could say Busty Poser.
Really?
Instead of Buster Posey, which I apparently almost did. Line drive into center by Starling Marte.
Thanks for bringing that to my attention.
Now it's in your head.
Yeah.
As Harang will go to the stretch with Ike Davis coming up. Davis struck out looking his first time up.
9 to play with here for Aaron Harang. Can afford to be a little more aggressive in the zone, but he's not in the business of giving up runs, so he'll try to make quick work of them.
9 runs over 4 innings for Liriano, the Pirates starter tonight. Only 7 of those 9 were earned. A little flare towards short. That's playable for Simmons. He's got it. And Ike Davis is retired on the first pitch he sees in the inning. 1 on, 1 out. Pittsburgh's looking at the scoreboard, knowing they're playing themselves into a deep hole in the division. Milwaukee's red hot, and they're winning again tonight, 2-0 over Toronto. That game's at Miller Park. Here's Mercer, and he looks low. 1 ball, no strikes. Mercer picked up the first Pirates hit. It came with 1 out in the 3rd inning. Right there, even count. Great races in the big leagues brewing, not just in the divisions, but the wild cards too, as the runner at first goes. Ground ball to short. Pirates stay out of the double play. They give up the out, get a base. Marte in scoring position, and the pitcher spot coming up. It will be Compton. He'll stay in the game. Pirates had an extra inning game, a long extra inning game before Atlanta got to town. They had to use 3 relievers last night. They want to burn up their bullpen in the middle innings tonight, especially with Garrett Cole coming back tomorrow. They don't know really what they're going to get.
Probably on a pitch count. But as I said, Compton's made 10 starts, so the fact that he's been moved to the bullpen and he's the de facto long man now, he's going to be out there for a while.
10 runs on 12 hits for the Braves. A run on 3 hits for the Pirates. And a ground ball deep short. Simmons can't get it. It skips over his glove. And Compton's going to have an RBI hit. Ball got away from Justin. No further damage. And the RBIs by the pitchers are even tonight. It's now a 10-2 game.
His second hit, his first RBIs.
There's not a play that man thinks he can't make. Anderson looks a little peaked. Now to the top we go. And Harrison, a shot to short. And Simmons makes the play, and that retires the Pirates. We're through 5 in Pittsburgh. Aaron Harang has a big lead. It's 10-2 now.
not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Atlanta Braves.
Big night for the Braves and Aaron Harang tonight. 10-2 is your score as we head to inning number 6. Fans save up to 40% off your ticket price with the Taco Mac Center Field Steal. Get an outfield seat plus a $5 Taco Mac gift card for only $15 every Wednesday. Visit Braves.com/summer to get this amazing ticket deal. Your next chance for a Taco Mac Wednesday center field steal will be September the 3rd. It's a 12:10 start against the Phillies. Braves will play at 1:10 on Labor Day, 7:10 Tuesday night the 2nd, 12:10 on Wednesday, and then we head to Miami, Washington, and Texas, our last 3-city road trip of the year.
Well, those 3-city 10-day road trips kind of piled up on the Braves here at the end of the year. Last year they came early.
That might explain why it's been since July 10th since Aaron Harang has celebrated a victory.
Yeah, all those no decisions until his last start. 5 straight no decisions and then the loss to the Dodgers. So far so good tonight.
Here's Alonso Blanco, and he rips one into the seats for a strike. Gaddis 1 for 3 tonight. Neil Walker took away a hit in the second. He had it played right up the middle. He's not playing there now for Evan. That's a little low, and even count. In the air to right and playable for Snyder. He's a couple of steps to his left and has it. And Gaddis is out number 1. Andrelton's got a couple of runs scored tonight. He's also stolen a base, and he has a base hit. It's amazing in this game how sometimes a season can turn on a dime, is it not?
Freddie used the term ebb and flow of a season. You have some really good stretches, and then it's just inevitable in a long baseball season that you're going to have some rough patches too.
Check swing. That's over the dugout foul.
Well, that about got a pierogi.
That's a criminal offense if you plunk a pierogi here.
He is.
See? I think that's Oliver Onion.
Can't see him.
But there's that green fog in front of him as he makes his way into the stands. I must admit the pierogi race isn't nearly as exciting as the Home Depot tool race. What I like about the Home Depot tool race at home is how Phil the Bucket just taunts his opponents when he wins the race.
You like that, huh? You're such a front runner for Phil.
There's no question. So the pierogi race is coming up here in Pittsburgh. We'll be sure to let you know who wins. In the air to right. Another chance for Snyder. He hardly had to move. That's an out for Simmons, but his hits and balls hit by direction are trending in the right direction.
Well, I want to go back to what Tom was saying after that last at bat when he was falling all over home plate swinging to that 2-0 pitch, and Tom was talking about him teeing off on the 2-0 pitch last night. you ever see Chipper Jones swing like that on a 2-0 count where he went to his knee or almost fell across over into the other batter's box? No, never. I mean, balance, control, bat speed. It's not about trying to show how hard you can swing.
That's up the middle. Nearly hit the second base bag. And B.J. Upton's retired. And it's a 1-2-3. Atlanta top of the 6th inning. Big night for the Braves offense. And a big lead at PNC Park. Win round trip airfare anywhere Delta flies in the continental U.S. 2 nights hotel accommodations and $250 spending cash. Enter on your mobile devices or computer at foxsports.com/south/Delta. Good luck. Plenty of that going around for Aaron Harang tonight. He's got a big lead. The Braves have supported him with 10 runs, 12 hits, and he's on his way to the home 6th with Snyder, McCutchen, and Neil Walker coming up. And it's trivia time, brought to you by AT&T Uber. Since 2012, Andrew McCutchen has recorded the 2nd most extra base hits in the National League. Who has the most extra base hits in the league since 2012? We'll ponder that as Harang goes to work and misses to Travis Snyder, who has a 10-game hitting streak of his own. Bounding ball toward Freeman. He'll take it to the bag solo and gets his man easily. There's out number 1. And here's McCutchen. And we talked about flak jacket Andrew McCutchen is wearing. Tom Hart has more.
Yeah, it's simply a compression shirt with padding on each of the sides. I was in contact with one of McCutchen's earliest hitting coaches earlier tonight, guys, via text. When he was an 8th grader growing up in Florida, there was a young minor leaguer in Lakeland, Florida, that was offering batting lessons to some local kids. A guy by the name of Matt Diaz. McCutchen lasted about 3 practices, and Matty said, "I've got nothing for you. Your hands are too quick. I don't think there's anything else I can teach you." They would later be teammates right here in Pittsburgh.
Gosh, how about that? Good story.
I'm guessing the tale tonight for McCutchen will not be how he does during the game, but how he recovers after the game. If there's any lingering soreness, any more issues with that avulsion fracture of the left or the 11th rib.
He just took a big cut at a high pitch there. I would guess that the real test will come on a pitch inside that he has to pull his hands in and get his hips open on. Or even maybe a fooled on a pitch, a breaking ball or a changeup that he gets extended on.
We did see him do a little trunk twist in his last at bat after he swung the bat, but appears to be relatively comfortable. Ramiro Pena, by the way, is checked in for the Braves at shortstop. Freddie Gonzalez, for the last couple of innings, has checked with Andrelton Simmons. They're trying to protect that ankle just to make sure with a big lead.
When he scored from second on the base hit by Aaron Harang, remember he went in standing up. I thought Simmons kind of he hit real hard on his left foot. Real hard on his left foot, and then his right foot hit the plate. I think that was the sequence, but it was kind of he almost changed the directions a little bit too to make sure he avoided the tag.
Remember the first week of the season when he scored a run and avoided the catcher and ran into the umpire and tumbled to the ground and hurt himself? Almost a similar play here tonight. Maybe Tom can find out if there's any discomfort for Simmons or if it's merely precautionary. To third, Chris Johnson makes the play, and McCutchen tumbled to the batter's box, did not run to first base, and he's going to be out. Let's see if he grimaces or shows any signs of discomfort. McCutchen couldn't get out of the box.
Everybody in their dugouts hoping it was just a slip, and it was. He had his feet tangled up.
So McCutchen 0 for 3 at his return. And Harang has 2 outs. Neil Walker the batter. Walker has one of the 2 Pittsburgh RBIs tonight. His came in the 4th inning when it was still a manageable game. And this one looped toward first, and Freddie Freeman and foul grounders there. And that takes care of the Pirates. Harang is freezing tonight. We head to the 7th. All Atlanta in game 2. Big night for the Braves through 6. It's time for tonight's Mazda game summary.
What do you see, Chip? What do you see?
I've never seen that before.
A lot of A's. A lot of A's up there on the Mazda recap with Aaron Harang actually driving in the first run of the night offensively, and he's pitched a great ball game. No walks, 3 strikeouts, and the Braves offense has certainly given him a lot of support. 5 RBIs from Justin, 3 from Hayward. Good work all around by everybody.
And since Pittsburgh has never led in the game, Aaron Harang at this point would have the game-winning RBI on a night when the Braves have scored 10.
Well, of course he would.
Because he's an athlete.
Yes, he is.
And he'll lead things off here at the 7th.
I'll bet you in the post game, if this score holds up, Brian Jordan will tell us that Aaron was his pick to click.
And you call me a front runner?
Yeah.
Harang's down on 3 pitches as we start the 7th inning. And Compton has his 3rd strikeout tonight.
He's got a good fastball. 92 to 94.
Three RBI night for Jason Hayward. 2 more hits. Another run scored for the Braves leadoff man. Atlanta trying to win its 5th consecutive game. The 3-game sweep over the team with the best record in baseball had to buoy the confidence of this Braves ball club. They beat Sonny Gray and John Lester in the last 2 games. Knocked off Vance Worley last night. They've clobbered Liriano tonight, and Garrett Cole opposes Alex Wood, who's pitching great for Atlanta, and the series wrap up tomorrow night. What has always fascinated me about the game of baseball, besides the pitcher-batter matchup, it's the psychology of the game. It's been said a million times. The team is never as bad as it looks when it's in the depths of a long losing streak like the Braves were in and like the Pirates are now. And a team truly isn't as good as they appear when they win 7, 8, 9, 10 games in succession. They're somewhere in between. But it's how players and fans and broadcasters and executives and managers evaluate their club during those stretches that's just a fascinating thing to watch.
Well, the players just want to ride it. When you get on a good streak, just ride it. Enjoy it. It's a fun game when you're winning. And it can be a real torment when you're not, because it's so hard to hit.
It's hard to hit when things are going well.
Exactly. So when it's going bad, like it is for the Pirates, and you just, nobody can get a big hit, nobody can help get a rally started, it becomes miserable. Trying too hard, trying so hard to get it fixed.
2 balls, 2 strikes for Hayward. He shoots one toward left, and that's playable for Marte, and he's got it. There's out number 2. That maybe is where the bad cliche, I'm just trying to stay within myself, came from, because there's so many things I'm sure as an athlete you can't control. All you can do is what Hayward or Harang do when given the opportunity, and that's have a quality at bat or make a quality pitch.
Sure, you've got to, as I said about Aaron earlier, he knows his strengths and weaknesses. You've got to know that as a player, what you are capable of doing, and as was what we were talking about with Andrelton earlier tonight. There's no need for him to swing like that, trying to hit a homer, get a base hit and drive in 1, hit a gap and drive in 2. I mean, he could have hurt himself. Maybe he did. Maybe that's why he's out of the game.
Ramiro Pena took over for him at short. Now Gosselin hits. Phil has a 1-for-4 game at the plate tonight. And a check swing into the camera well down the first base side.
Gosh, is Tom all right? Is he down there? What inning is this? Oh, this is the 7th. This is the hot dog inning.
That skips up there. 2-2 for Gosselin. Washington 6, Arizona 1. That's in the 6th. Seattle 3-0 over the Phillies. Boy, the Mariners are playing good ball. Miami 3-1 over Texas. Home 6th in Miami. To short. Mercer gets a friendly hop, throws on the run, and that one had a hump in it, but was in time to get Gosselin, and the Braves are out in order here in the 7th. Perfect night for baseball in Pittsburgh, especially with 10 runs on the board for the Braves. 7th. He'll face Pirate catcher Russell Martin, who leads things off. Starling Marte and Ike Davis also due for Pittsburgh.
Check it out. Only 73 pitches, 2 for Aaron. Back into the bullpen. Got a night off last night. Everybody might get a night off tonight if this continues at this rate.
He looks like he's in a rocking chair, doesn't he? Just pitching, playing catch, moving the ball around like he always does, and extremely economical.
And making them put it in play. So he's throwing strikes. Not throwing it down the middle, but he's throwing strikes where he wants to throw it, and they're swinging.
A little low. It's 2-2. What he doesn't want to do is start walking folks with a big lead.
Yeah, not right after I said he's throwing strikes. No longer be the pick to click for Brian.
Into center field, a sharply hit ball. Upton cuts it off, and Russell Martin's aboard with a 1-for-3 game. Russell Nathan Johnson Coltrane Martin Jr. His middle name's a nod to the jazz musician John Coltrane. Russell's dad is an accomplished saxophone player who played the national anthem with the sax before a Dodgers-Pirates game at Dodger Stadium.
Speaking of that, I saw George Benson in the hotel today. World-renowned guitarist.
And a strike.
Second time tonight he started Marte with that slow curve.
He's hit safely in 6 straight. And lines one to second. Gosselin fires back to first. Safe. Here's Russell Martin. That was close. Marte hit a rocket for out number 1.
It's about all they needed was to get another guy doubled up like they did last night.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Ike Davis 0 for 2. He has struck out and popped out. Up. And that's playable in foul ground. Chris Johnson, plenty of room. And 2 men are out. Now it's time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag SouthFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming broadcast. That's brought to you by our friends at AT&T. Here's Mercer.
Boy, no stressful innings to speak of. He gave up single runs in the 4th and 5th. More than 15 pitches per inning. Had a 4-0 lead after 3.
Ball, 1 strike. You mentioned Mercer from Oklahoma State. He lives in Edmond, Oklahoma. 3rd round pick in 2008.
he was from a real small school, northwestern Oklahoma, Tologa. I'm not even sure if that's. I'm not even sure if that school is still open.
Really?
Yeah. I was talking to some of my pals, and they weren't sure if it was still in operation. They've consolidated with another school.
So Mercer continues. Our series continues tomorrow night. 6:30 Braves live, and 7 o'clock Alex Wood and Garrett Cole. Then we're off to Cincinnati for 4. Action in the Pirates pen. Compton due next. The pitch is popped up. Freeman with a check. He's in the middle of the warning track in foul ground, and Aaron Harang is through 7 innings with a big lead. 10-2. Aaron chasing down win number 10 tonight. We head to the 8th. Baseball is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, little price every day. Big lead for Atlanta. Some of the Pirates faithful heading home already. 10-2. Atlanta in game 2 of the series. Our road trip continues on to Cincinnati, then to New York. Then we head home. 6-game homestand. The Marlins and Phillies come to town, and Monday afternoon it's Bobby Cox bobblehead day. The Phillies will be in town. The first 20,000 fans, and 20,000 only, get to take home this one-of-a-kind souvenir. Get your tickets today at Braves.com or by phone at 800-745-3000.
I think we just call it the Cox Bobby head. You know, then you save wordage.
I like it. Why not?
Yeah.
That looks like Bobby, too. You know, sometimes the bobbleheads are not really that close a resemblance. I mean, at first glance, whoa, that's great look at the skipper.
The last year he was the manager, when they would do the lineups and as presented by Bobby Cox, that was what he did. He folded his arms, and looks a lot like that.
Bobby was practicing for the World Cup coverage this year when they folded the arms. Remember? The soccer players were introduced. Right. Now Bobby will be at the game on September 1. I hope we'll see big crowds back at Turner Field. Those are important games. The Marlins hot on our heels in the East, and the Phillies, and we're back at it again on the road. Foul straight back by Freeman. Freddie's had another good game tonight. 2 hits, 2 walks, and a run scored.
And 2 good swings right there. Upset that he missed.
Compton came on in the 5th inning for Pittsburgh after Liriano loaded the bases.
Gave up a run, but he's set everybody down in order since then. Nice job there.
Including Freddie Freeman. That's the 8th straight Braves hitter. He's retired. And that's his 4th strikeout in relief this evening. 1 out. So here's Upton. Huge night for Justin. His 5th 5 or better RBI game in the big leagues. His last was August 1st last year against Colorado. His career high is 6, and he's done that twice. So he's up to 80 runs batted in. Popped up. Mike Davis says he's got it. He does. And there's the second out. Don't know what Ryan Howard has done. Well, we do know what Ryan Howard's done. He hasn't knocked anybody in for the Phillies tonight. So Upton has moved past the Phillies first baseman for 3rd in the league in RBIs. Giancarlo Stanton is 1st. Adrian Gonzalez of the Dodgers is 2nd. Upton now 3rd with 80.
How many Stanton have?
88.
Not that far behind.
And 32 homers for Giancarlo. It's going to be a very interesting MVP race in the National League. Upton's got to be in that conversation.
Heck yeah.
As Johnson swings and misses.
Chris had a tough night. He got a couple of calls made on him in his first at bat that kind of had him a little sideways. Struck out in the 3rd after the homer by Upton. But he did reach on an error and started that big 5-run uprising in the 5th. Trying to extend his hitting streak right here. Man, Jordy Mercer made the error to start the inning.
He's upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Toward 3rd. Nice pick. Harrison with the throw to 1st. Brandon Compton's pitched himself a whale of a game in relief. He's really saved the Pirate bullpen. And Atlanta leads still by 8. Bridge toward the parking decks. They're not happy with their Pirates. Atlanta's trying to hand in their 7th straight loss, and they're doing it handily tonight by a 10-2 score. Aaron Harang's back to work. Brandon, Brandon Compton's going to stay in the game.
Wow. Good for him.
Brandon's family's watching the game back in Atlanta. Their young man has done himself proud tonight.
And driven in a run.
And he's sent down on 3 pitches to start the bottom of the 8th inning. Aaron Harang's season high in innings, by the way, is 8. And through 111 pitches, so he's rolling. Pop Rock Band Newsboys perform in the Braves Summer Concert Series Sunday, August 31st. It's after the game. A free concert. Limited VIP field passes are available. They're $20 each. Act fast. At Braves.com/concerts today. And just in case you weren't sure, those are not the Newsboys. Mark Bowman, Dave O'Brien on the right, Kevin McAlpin from the Braves radio network in the middle. I don't know if anybody would stay for a post-game concert featuring that trio.
Oh, I don't know. Dave O'Brien really up to date on his music. He's a big music aficionado. Mark Bowman would fit in any opera.
Pena has that hit off the heel of his glove. And that's an error. Harrison's aboard with 1 out.
And Kevin McAlpin's from Philly and Jersey area, so he's got to be a Bruce Springsteen fan.
Definitely a soprano.
Yeah. For that reason, you're right. Probably listening to Springsteen right now.
So those are the fine beat writers on the left and right of your screen. Kevin does good work for Jim Powell and Don Sutton on the Braves radio network with pregame, postgame reports. Maybe some happy quotes after this one tonight. Atlanta's got a big lead over Pittsburgh.
Maybe from Aaron Harang about a complete game.
Yeah.
He's at 94 pitches now, 15 career complete games. His last one, June 11th of 2013, last season against Houston. And this time of year, can't say enough about what it does for your bullpen to get that kind of rest.
And where we're going next. Cincinnati and that launching pad. Travis Snyder hits, man aboard, 1 out. Yeah, just missed. Line over short. It's into left field and deep. Harrison around second, on his way to third. Pittsburgh threatens now. Runners at the corners with 1 out. That's the 6th Pirate hit. 2 of them by Travis Snyder.
Yeah, he's a good-looking hitter. Like him. 10 homers, 32 RBIs on the year. And that will get the Braves bullpen busy.
With Andrew McCutchen coming up from Pittsburgh. He's the subject of our AT&T Uverse trivia question. Since the start of the 2012 season, McCutchen has the 2nd most extra base hits in the league. Who has the most?
I want to say somebody in Colorado.
Oh, that's a good call. Like Tulowitzki or something?
Yeah, I'm going to say Tulowitzki.
I'm tempted to say Carlos Gonzalez, but he's always hurt.
Yeah, Tulo too.
I'll stay with Cargo. Let's see if it's a member of the Rockies. Oh, it's Paul Goldschmidt.
Nice tie-in too, you know, with hit batters.
A big swing by McCutchen. You recall he made contact in his last at bat. He grounded out to third and slipped and fell in the batter's box. It's an easy out. Obviously, McCutchen says he's good to go. Tom Hart reported he's got that inflatable rib protector on. And we've seen no sign of any issues with that tonight.
No. Saw David Hale up. He worked last night, but just 2/3 of an inning.
Low. 2 balls and a strike. Ground ball to short. There's one. The turn in time. And McCutchen and the Pirates are done in the 8th. We head to the 9th. All Atlanta in game 2. Aaron Harang, what a night. Here at beautiful PNC Park in Pittsburgh. Joe Simpson, Tom Hart, Chip Carey with you. As we promised you earlier tonight, we have our AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to #SouthFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. And there is your fan photo tonight.
Hey, look at Murph. Joe Murphy in that family photo with those people. Very nice.
Great shot. Hope Murph's doing well. No, he's loving this score tonight. Aaron Harang rolling merrily along. How ironic. Braves scored 10 tonight. He's in line to win number 10 tonight.
I'm going to stay in the game after getting that double play ball. At least it appears that way. He's got his helmet in case he comes up this inning.
Got some defensive changes for the Pirates. I think McCutchen's out of the game. We'll let you know how the outfield aligns here in a second. Evan Gattis will lead off. Travis Snyder has moved from right to left. Marte's now the center fielder for the Pittsburghers. And Nix is in right. That is a check swing, has an even count.
I'll tell you, I've been impressed. There's Jason Nix. Been impressed with Compton. He's done a nice job. Gave up a couple of hits and a walk when he came in that inning in the 5th in relief. And since then, nothing. So he may be trying to earn his starting spot back after a couple of relief outings that didn't go so well, short outings. Good work tonight.
Fouled away by Gattis. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Miami's winning. Washington is winning. The Braves, more importantly, are winning big.
Swing and a high fly ball down to deep left field. Break out the tape measure. Wow. Off the facade of the walkway down the left field line for Gaddis. That was a mammoth solo home run.
Yeah, they've got that access ramp down the left field line that's circular. I don't know if it hit on the third or fourth level of that thing. Hanging slider, and everybody knew.
I can't wait to hear how far that one went. $19 homers for Gaddis now, and the Braves have scored 11 times. Ramiro Pena, the batter. Remember, he took over for Andrelton Simmons a couple of innings ago. And he shoots one down the left field line. That's headed for the corner fair. And on his way to second base. A little trouble by Snyder, but no further advance. Boy, the Braves have their hitting shoes on again tonight. 7 runs and 15 hits yesterday. 11 runs on 14 hits tonight.
Took a 93 fastball the other way there. Also for Ramiro. Come in relief of Simmons at shortstop. You get an at bat, you want to make the most of it, and he has. And more than atone for that error after he got the double play started in the bottom of the 8th.
Pop fly foul by B.J. Upton. B.J. has 2 hits. He scored a couple of runs. We got the tail of the tape on Gaddis' homer, 416 feet. Fouled away. 0-2. Two hits, 2 runs for Gaddis tonight. 2 hits, 2 runs for BJ tonight. And that's hammered deep toward right. Nick's going back, still going back. He'll get there. Pena will tag and head to third. And that is the first out of the inning. Why not? Harang will try to help himself and maybe pick up another RBI. Every Braves regular player who has started this game has scored at least 1 run. So if hitting is contagious, there's a viral outbreak in the Braves bat rack.
A chance for Aaron to get his second RBI. This is what he did to Liriano in the second inning. He just set him up with a couple of feeble swings and then jumped on that fastball.
Not this time, though. Harang's down swinging. And strikeout number 5 for Compton. We go back to the top and Jason Hayward. Jason greeted this young man with a 2-run single in the 5th. Hayward at 50 RBIs now. And a swinging strike.
I can hear a young lady's voice that just brings back a lot of memories for a young Pirate fan at Turner Field.
Odd shot toward first. And the flip to Compton covering. Yeah, that was a little red-haired girl that was screaming, "Let's go Pirates." She needs some help as Pittsburgh's up for their last call. Big night for the Braves. They're up 11-2 in Game 2 of our series. Eloso Blanco with the tape measure homer. His 19th of the year. 416 feet away. The Braves continue to roll. Aaron Harang tries to go the distance tonight. He needs 3 more outs for a complete game win over the Pirates. It's an 11-2 score. This could be a very profitable night for the Braves. The 2 teams they're chasing the wild card race are the Cardinals and Giants. Both of those clubs are losing tonight. So if those scores hold and Atlanta polishes off the Pirates here, we could have a 3-way tie for the wild card in the National League. The Braves obviously still have their sights set on the Nationals. They're 6 games back of Washington with 6 head-to-head with the division leaders. In the air by Walker, slicing out a play, foul. And the Pirates' second baseman down 0-2. Only 2 runs for Pittsburgh tonight. Walker has knocked in 1 of them. Brandon Compton drove in the other. He's the Pirates reliever tonight.
He really is in a rocking chair. Chip, you mentioned how comfortable Harang was, especially after the 5-run 5th inning.
Yeah, if you needed Exhibit A about how early runs help a pitcher get in rhythm, look no further than this one tonight. Harang got the scoring started himself. He drove in the game's first run with a 2nd inning hit. Fly ball center. It's playable for BJ. He'll call off brother Justin. He's got it. And Walker is out number 1 in the 9th.
And I'll bet one of the words to describe to the writers how tonight was for Aaron is fun. He's just having a good time. Look at this pitch count. No more than 15 pitches in any inning. He's ranging his speed and has been since the early part of the game between 89 top end to 86. That 78-mile-an-hour curveball. Fun for him.
He has pitched. And he's pitched to beauty. Also, Martin 1 for 3. That hit came last time up in the 7th. chance for Upton. Got a good jump. Still going back, and he can't get it. Martin hesitated, but now stands at second with one man out.
He did get a real good jump on this. Just out of his reach.
That's a two-base hit. And Brett Morrell will pinch run for Martin. Here's Marte. Starling 1 for 3. Foul to the plate. 0-1. In the American League, Baltimore continues to roll. They're in the 6th inning in Chicago, leading the White Sox 4-1. Tigers and Tampa Bay, big series. 4-4 7th at Tropicana Field. Line over short. That's in for a hit. Morrell broke towards second. He'll make his way to third base and stop there. And back-to-back hits for the Pirates extend the game. First and third for Aaron Harang at 112 pitches.
When you're down 11-2, you got to make sure the ball drops. Morrell did. Aaron was able to get out of the last inning with a ground ball double play. Freddie Gonzalez is going to give him an opportunity to do the same thing here.
Everybody has hit to 7 of them.
Everybody talks about the Tigers and the A's and the Dodgers, about what a good club they are in various divisions. Nobody talks about Baltimore.
No.
Nobody puts them in a, hey, watch out for Baltimore. They got a 7.5 game lead.
In the air to right. That's going to drop for a hit and score a run. Davis with a hit. 3 straight singles. It's 11-3 now. And that appears to be the end of the line for Aaron Harang. And it is an complete game for the big right-hander. The boy is going to get a big pat on the back from Freddie Gonzalez in the Atlanta infield. Marvelous effort from Aaron Harang. 8 1/3 innings of 3-run ball in Pittsburgh. He's chasing down win number 16 lifetime against the Pirates. He's in good shape. Bottom of the 9th inning. Great job by Aaron Harang, looking for victory number 10 tonight. Alex Wood hopes for similar support tomorrow. And as the Braves wrap up the series with the Pirates, he's one of our 2 Chevron probable starters.
Evened up his record last time out at 9-9. He'll go against Garrett Cole, who's coming off the disabled list. We'll get a look at him. One of their top picks just 2 or 3 years ago. An excellent pitcher and a guy with a real high ceiling by most accounts. So a good matchup of 2 good young pitchers in the National League.
So David Hale comes on in relief. He needs to get 2 outs. And he'll face Jordy Mercer first.
Again, just 2/3 of an inning last night. Walked the batter, but no other trouble for David. Come in and clean this up for Aaron so that he doesn't allow any more runs than 3.
Popped him up. Infield fly. Who wants it? It's Pena. And the Braves run out away. And Pedro Alvarez will bat for Pittsburgh. See if Alvarez will be in the lineup tomorrow with a left-hander on the mound. He's been struggling at the plate. He's been struggling in the field. In fact, he played first base for the first time in his big league career last night.
Mike Davis, a left-handed hitter also. Their option is Gabby Sanchez they could put there.
So Alvarez stands in the way of Atlanta victory. Ball 1. Can't say enough about the job Brandon Compton did. 5 innings, a 4-hit, 2-run ball for Pittsburgh. Relief of Liriano, who didn't have it. And Braves made him pay with 9 runs, 10 hits in his start tonight.
That'll put a dent in your ERA. And especially at home, where we talked earlier, Liriano's had trouble here at PNC Park.
And he can complain about the lack of run support, but he was his own worst enemy tonight. With the Pirates in a 4-0 hole after 3 innings. Aaron Harang RBI hit. And then Justin Upton's 3-run homer, and the Braves haven't looked back. And a strike on a 3-0 pitch. Hale spears that. And the Braves wallop the Pirates in game 2 tonight. Aaron Harang at long last back in the win column. His 10th victory of the season. The Braves score 11 runs on 14 hits and have earned their 5th consecutive victory. The road trip off to a great start for Atlanta. They're 2-0, and they'll go for a series sweep in Pittsburgh here tomorrow night. Plenty to talk about from PNC Park, and we'll join you for that after this.